Nice to see you again. Hey, you haven't been here in a few months. You enjoying your summer? What have you been doing?
I went to Madison, Wisconsin, and did some boating.
Did some boating?
Yeah.
Now, sailing, power boating?
Power boat.
Oh, okay. I seem like a... You like seems like that.
I like motors. I like oil and water when they mix together.
I wasn't aware that they could make. Isn't that how ducks float?
Well, you know the little film on the water, and the smell of lake water and gasoline is a beautiful thing.
Welcome to the Twin Peaks podcast.
So glad you're gone. I'm so glad you're gone. Ball and chain gone. Ball and chain gone. So glad, so glad, so glad, so glad, so glad.
Welcome to the Twin Peaks podcast. I'm Matt.
I'm Melanie. Go!
Who usually goes next?
Brad!
Oh, is it me?
Yeah.
It's been a while. I'm Brad.
That's Brad.
I'm Caitlin.
I'm Claire Laffar.
What?
Oh my gosh.
Skype
Everywhere.
Skype ninja again.
Sorry, Caitlin.
Nice impression.
That was a good Claire.
Uncanny, honestly.
It's like her spirit took over you. All of a sudden.
Spirit!
It's a spirit.
So that's not Claire Laffar, that's Robin. Good to have you here, Robin.
Oh, very happy to be here.
Great.
I shit on David Lynch movies, right?
Yeah, that's what we do.
Oh, yeah.
We're good at that.
This is a big one to shit on.
Yeah. I hate it every second.
Every second. Any interpretation of it is bullshit, too.
Yeah. Should we talk about that? What happened? The little
I'm always game to talk about.
You go
Talk
ahead.
about it.
You go ahead, Brad. You explain what happened to the fine listeners who may not be part of the Facebook group.
I don't even know how to explain these things. Guys, if you're not in the Facebook group, you should join up because there's so much comedy gold that happens. Because sometimes people get angry, sometimes people get defensive about a topic before we've even talked about it on the show, which is hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they start to listen to the podcast, then they start getting more angry and unleashing it on the world in hilarious ways.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of happened again.
Yeah. I think this is the third person we've had storm out of our Facebook group over our opinions.
Yeah, guys, seriously, there are opinions.
Mm-hmm.
We have no superpowers. Our words do not become law, unfortunately.
Oh, it won't.
So deal with it. Get the fuck over it.
Seriously, you actually will feel better if you don't take these things so seriously. I mean, I can feel for it because I have had moments where I'm like, why does this person like what I like?
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it. And then I'm like, wait a second, why should I care? Like,
Doing the Intro to X podcast must be torture for you, Robin.
No, because I've learned to let go.
That's good.
It's called Fishercast. You have to go through a Fishercast to get to this point.
I will break you, Robin. I will break you.
Yeah.
That's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for the split, the rift down the middle.
It's gonna be awesome.
Brad goes off and makes his own X-Files podcast.
We have our own a separate X-Files podcast that's happening on our X-Files podcast. It's called the Feedback Section.
Yes. It's pretty awesome.
It's amazing.
So everyone listen to Intro to X. Robin and Brad are on that, and Claire and Tammy. And Mel and I have both guested, and we will again in the future, if we're allowed.
Mel's on next week.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Sweet. Mel's on next week.
Better
All
not
right.
fall asleep on that episode.
Yeah. So, in summary, we had some people get angry at us over first Mulholland Drive, then Inland Empire, and guys, they're just our opinions. We did not set out to review David Lynch's movies, so I do not feel we should be obliged to like them. People asked us to do it, we're just doing it for shits and giggles. It's not that big a deal.
Calm down.
Yes.
You know what really upset people? If, like, you just reviewed it, like, a totally different director's movie one week. Just out of the blue.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to talk about National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation this week.
No, please no, please no, please no.
Mel,
Seriously.
Yeah, I hate that movie.
oh,
Hurrah.
everybody
What?
hates that movie, apparently.
I'm wearing a Griswold Family Christmas t-shirt. That's why that movie came to my mind.
Matt loves that movie though, don't you, Matt?
I've seen it since I was a little child, so yeah, I still like it.
It's like a family tradition. For
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
That and Home Alone.
Yeah. Well, I actually like Home Alone, but that's just because I grew up with it.
Yeah.
You guys want to talk about Home Alone?
Yeah, let's
talk
do that.
about Home Alone.
Joe Pesci puts in quite a performance.
He does.
Oh,
Where is
Daniel
he
Stern.
nowadays?
They really commit to the Wet Bandits role.
Have you guys seen the latest Bond movie?
Yes.
There's like a scene in it that's totally Home Alone.
Oh yeah.
It's so true.
Bond goes to his childhood home and he starts setting up these death traps.
Amazing.
He puts shotgun shells like under the floorboards, so when you step on them they'll explode. And he puts
Ooh, wow.
he hooks the glass shrapnel up to the light switches, so when you turn on the lights they explode.
I went with a bunch of friends, and I honestly turned to one of them during the scene and was just like, I cannot wait till Bond gets the paint cans out and like takes them.
I know.
Yikes.
It was great.
May not see this one.
Yeah.
Oh, it's really good regardless. Besides that.
I'm now twice excited to see it.
Alright, so let's get into the straight story. We've meandered enough.
Yeah.
So, Brad, do you have your app ready?
Your app.
The app
Hold on.
that we spoke of?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is ready.
Okay. Robin, taste your own medicine. You have 60 seconds to summarize the straight story on Brad's go.
Whoa!
And it's 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so this old guy's got this daughter, and he gets a call and finds out that his brother had a stroke of some sort, and so he's like, he's thinking, oh, we gotta patch things up, and so he hops on his tractor, but that doesn't work, so he goes and gets another tractor, and that works, and he gets on the road, and just like it takes like forever. He stops at different parts, meets some weird people, and then he gets to the end, and it's kind of anticlimactic, and that's the straight story.
Wow, that was quick.
That was 30 seconds.
That was quick for a movie.
Bravo.
I'm sure I skipped a lot of stuff, but I'm not sure if I'm supposed to hit every single.
You're supposed to hit as much as you can in 60 seconds.
See, that's the thing. I gotta do that thing where you run up to 60 seconds but not go over.
Exactly. That's the goal.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's getting as much information.
Maybe you
All right, let me do it again with Home Alone.
You've had your chance and you failed.
I would have summarized it in one sentence. Old man goes around the country dispensing life lessons, eating raw hot dogs.
But it's far, and even though saying all that, it's far better than it should have any right to be from that summary.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty good movie.
I love this fucking movie.
Did you? Good. I was afraid you would be terrorized by all the old people.
There's so many olds.
There was a whole bus full of grannies, Brad.
True. But this is the thing. I like my olds being wistful and overly romanticized. I just don't like confused olds in the way.
Oh.
Fair enough.
So you liked it, Caitlin?
Yeah. I've come to realize after watching this movie that actually watching all these David Lynch movies has become a bit of a chore and a strain. And I'm like, oh wow, I actually enjoyed this.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's nice.
Probably
I think.
the least David Lynch movie of them all you liked.
Yeah.
Yeah, there wasn't.
Robin hadn't seen it either, had he?
Oh, have you not seen it?
No, it's my first time.
He was a newbie too.
Nice. We were all newbies.
So did you like it, Robin?
Yeah, it was alright. I mean, like I said, the ending kind of was. I was just kind of like, oh, okay, and that's it. It's like, I thought there was going to be kind of like a big talk at the end or something.
That would have been terrible, though.
I guess, I don't know. Maybe I was looking for something more.
I think this is the perfect ending.
Yeah.
Robin wanted them to both die on that porch.
Oh.
Yeah, they sit down in the rocking chair, they're together, and they just like close their eyes.
You want to sit there and find his brother dying.
Yeah.
Something dramatic.
It's not dark.
No, Robin. The thing is, you would prefer if this movie just ended with Transformers coming down. I hate that. I'm leaving the Facebook group. Fuck you.
You know,
You don't know what
honestly,
you're
I just
talking
want
about.
explosions. I really just, if there was more explosions and sex.
Hey, there was
Oh,
at
sex.
least 1.5 explosions in this.
It's true.
That was pretty awesome when he shot his old red lawnmower.
Yeah.
Shotgun.
That wasn't expected.
I seriously expected him to shoot himself.
This movie ended strangely early.
Yeah. Oh, that just reminded me of something that I'm going to bring up later, but never mind. Have you guys read any trivia for this?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to depress you later.
I thought it was weird seeing that Disney logo open up I mean, I heard talk of like how weird it is to see a Disney logo in front of a David Lynch film, but actually experiencing it, I was like, well, that's really strange. You're right, that is strange.
How much Lynch stuff did you spot in here? Like, Lynch, huh?
I don't know what people are talking about. I know that it's not weird and annoyingly trying to be artistic like Inland Empire, but this movie is pure David Lynch.
Yeah.
Every second.
There's a few things that I noticed. I noticed the camera crane in like one of the opening shots following the woman sunbathing, and then zooming in on Alvin's house. That was very, very Lynch. And the highway lines. He always does shots of the highway lines going, but it was just hilarious because in this they're going so slow. Because this man was riding a mower across the country.
The biggest thing I notice in Lynch movies that strikes out as that's a Lynch thing is just the odd people, and I thought the lady that hit the deer was the biggest
Oh
Yeah.
odd.
Random, odd, and very interesting characters that don't get to stay around. Yeah.
Yeah, that lady reminded me. I don't know if you guys have seen that video or the audio clip of the lady talking about how they should move the deer crossing sign. She reminded me of that.
It was her. I'm sure of it.
If they didn't have these deer crossing signs, the deer wouldn't cross here. You need to move the sign so the deer know to cross over there where there's not much traffic. They follow the signs.
Now, I admit, I watched this movie on like a low volume. My sick daughter is napping on me, and so did she actually say that the lady she said that she hit 13 deer in 7 weeks?
Yep.
What the fuck? Sorry, after like 3, it's on you.
Yeah.
But she has to cross this road. It was great.
It was.
With Angelo Badalamenti doing the music, there are several points in the movie where like, the music mood changed all of a sudden and it got kind of ominous and eerie.
Yeah.
But then nothing happened. But I was so terrified that the story was going to degrade into like some horror.
So did you come into this completely cold? You didn't know anything about it?
Yep.
Yeah, same here. I didn't know anything about it. And then when he started off on his tractor, I was like, yes!
That is awesome.
The craziest thing, I remember this the actual news story, the true story about this, but I didn't even know that this movie existed.
No.
Oh, that's
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard of this movie before getting into David Lynch.
I heard about it around Oscar time. I always seem to.
Yeah, Richard Farnsworth was nominated, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
As he should have been.
Wasn't that Lynch's nomination for Best Director? Did he get a nomination for Best Director for that?
I
It didn't
don't know.
say.
I didn't notice that.
I'm upsetting a lot of people right now.
They're probably saying he should have. There's a lot of people that I've been reading around, and a lot of people are trying to turn this like more Lynchian. They're claiming to see dark subterranean subtexts.
Oh, here we go.
That show that that Alvin was the person who left Rose's kids in the fire. He was a raging alcoholic who beat his wife.
What?
Yeah.
People, stop looking for things that aren't there. Stop it.
But I mean, he did have sort of a dark past, a little bit.
Yeah, but they're making it extra dark.
They never talked about it at all, like, and he had a lot of regrets and stuff.
But these people are creating
that's
things that
true,
weren't
but
there.
That is true.
Stop moldering it.
Yeah.
I believe on this podcast it's called Coopering it. So
Same thing.
Here's a quote I found on one of the boards. Somebody defending that it is actually really dark. Believe what you want. The signs, however, are there, whether you wish to acknowledge them or not. And there's no way to convince me Lynch suddenly made a film as simple-minded as most appear to think he did.
Simple-minded. This is like this. I don't know what anyone wants out of this film.
Yeah.
I do kind of see what they mean, though. I mean, there are kind of the dark, like Caitlin said, the ominous kind of undertones, but it's not as dark. Maybe it's not portraying that dark side. It's talking about it, but it's not portraying it.
There's definitely some dark shit in his past.
Oh yeah.
I don't think he burned his kids or
No, don't think so.
Or his grandkids.
Otherwise, his daughter wouldn't. Well, I don't think she would love him as much as she did.
Yeah.
Does, you know.
Speaking of Rose, who was really annoyed by her speech impediment? It's sad to say, but I couldn't it
took a while.
It was distracting.
Yeah.
I mean,
I didn't know. I wasn't bothered by it as much. But as the movie started, I was like, is Sissy Spacek trying to like act like a teenager? And like, is that like something we're supposed to just accept? Oh, she's a teenager.
That's just how she is. You know, teens always talking.
No. Before she like opened her mouth and started stuttering and stuff, I think when she discovered her father laying on the floor and stuff like that, I just thought she was acting very teen-like.
Yeah, she was. Which made
maybe it was how she was dressed, or I hate to say anything about dressing.
Oh, don't get into that. Don't.
Sorry.
Don't talk about clothes.
I won't.
Drums.
So yeah, you're right. She did seem very childlike, and but people are, from what I read, she's not supposed to be mentally disabled or anything. She just has speech impediment, but she seemed.
I thought she had like a mental breakdown because her kids had been taken away from her.
They said she was having. They thought there was something wrong with her before that.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, she may have like. I mean, there's 1,000 things. It could be like on a spectrum of, you know, a very minor, you know, either autism or just mental handicap of some sort.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what.
There's something. There's something
there.
She could have burned her high school prom down with her mind.
Probably.
Oh, maybe.
Psychokinesis.
Telekinesis, you mean?
Pyrokinesis. Oh, I was glad to see Everett McGill.
Yeah, big hit.
Yes. Apparently that's the last thing he's acted in.
Yeah, apparently he's retired. He's not even that old, is he?
I don't know. What year was this?
This was 99.
99?
Yeah.
I'm sure he's, you know, still got that same hair color. Got the same oil in there.
Hasn't aged at all.
There wasn't too many David Lynch frequent collaborator actors in this. Just him and Harry Dean Stanton, I think.
Yeah.
In Badalamenti.
Well, he wasn't.
Yeah, I know.
Acting,
Not an actor.
Yeah.
You know the crazy thing about I knew that Harry Dean Stanton was the brother, and I knew we were going to see the brother. But even up until, you know, when he's standing at the house, I was like, there is very much a chance that he could be dead, and we're gonna like see like his body like at a funeral.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised.
Harry Dean Stanton plays a corpse. Yeah. Yeah.
Like I was on the edge of my seat, hoping that he wasn't dead the whole time.
Yeah. And Harry Dean Stanton's melty face came in handy for him to be able to play this guy's brother, believably. Because I don't think in real life he's anywhere near his age. And the real guy, that was his older brother that he was going to see, the real Alvin Strait. And his the real brother's name is Henry Strait, not Lyle Strait. I'm not sure why they changed it. Maybe the guy just didn't want his name used.
Yeah, apparently that's what they thought, that he didn't give his approval or whatever.
Yeah.
Should have called him Harry Dean Strait.
Harry Dean Strait.
Yes.
Just saying. I want a rider mower.
Yeah.
I really want one.
Now?
They're super fun.
Yeah.
If he hadn't taken that thing, if that hadn't happened in real life, I probably wouldn't have believed it would be possible.
Well, but here's the crazy thing, like, because it was like a 66 mower, so it like went no speed.
Mm-hmm.
In 1996, I had a riding lawnmower, and it was, of course, a new current riding lawnmower, and that thing, if you put it up like in the highest gear, it went about 30 miles an hour. And because like because we kept it at my grandmother's house, which was a block from my house, so I would have to drive it down the back alley. And you know, sometimes for fun, I would kick it up as fast as I could get it and
amazing.
race down that street.
That's amazing.
It was terrifying, but awesome.
Man, the wind whipping in your face.
Bugs flying into your mouth and eyes.
Did you ever find out if the Olsen twins were like related to Chris Farley? Because they were both Farleys.
Played by Farleys, and one of them
Yeah.
looked like Chris Farley.
Yeah.
I should look that up right now. Did you guys notice that? One of those two mechanics? Well,
How
I
hilarious.
just thought it was funny they're called the Olsen
I
Twins.
know, it was
Yeah.
so funny.
Yeah.
What?
I'll call the Olsen twins. Will you? Why? Mary Kate and Ashley, no lawnmowers.
They have their own brand.
We just need a little bit more cuteness in this scene.
oh, you mean, yeah,
Kevin P. Farley right there.
Kevin P. Farley.
He does look like Chris Farley.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Oh wow, he's the younger brother of Chris Farley.
Yeah. So those two mechanics were Chris Farley's brothers. Yeah.
Amazing.
What?
That is insane.
It's a lot like them. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I liked when he had the campfire with the hitchhiker and he talked about his game that he played with a bundle of sticks. This game I used to play with my kids, where I would tell them to get a stick and break it, and then get those sticks and put them in a bundle and try to break it, and then they couldn't. Fun game.
Seriously.
Let's play that game again, guys. No!
Hey, do you want to play the stick breaking game again? Never.
Yeah, we got it the first time.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Dad, could we get a ball, maybe?
But I did think it was very sweet that the girl left that bundle of sticks there for him.
That
Yeah,
was. This
that
was a
was
heartwarming movie.
It was. I was impressed, but that David Lynch was able to pull this off, actually.
Well, he didn't write it.
No, but he still pulled it off, though. Like, just filming it and stuff. He still pulled it off. It's pretty cool.
Yep.
David Lynch is a great director.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you guys feel this? There were so many like helicopter shots and stuff. Half of this movie felt like it was like a documentary. What? Well, I can't say
Documentary.
documentary. Why can't you say that word?
A documentary.
A documentary. Yes.
You're having the problem that I usually have.
I think it's
From
the
like,
line.
yeah.
But yeah, did you guys feel that at all? Like, just
Yeah.
these shots were out of character for him, I thought, but I liked them a lot. All those cornfields.
Yeah, it's very sweeping. It's nice.
Yep.
What I like, and I feel is very much David Lynch, is like all these shots of people talking far away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I do love those.
Yeah, lengthy dialogue in a wide frame.
It made me. It makes me feel like I'm there. I think that's why I like them, because you feel like, I don't know. It just reminded me of my. It reminded me of my childhood, like back where I come
When
from.
people used to shun you to the other side of the room and you could only hear their
It was
conversation.
my childhood too.
Exactly.
Should be seen and not heard.
Yeah.
No, it just reminded me. It reminds me of my grandparents.
Mm.
It's just that whole thing. It just, I don't know. It's kind of nice. It's just that's how it was back where I come from. It's
Yeah.
just, you just see people. They're all friendly with each other, and
Mhm.
I don't know.
So, here's a note I had. His wife had 14 babies. 7 of them lived.
Wow.
What the hell happened to 50% of his kids?
He killed them.
Burned in a
Aww.
fire.
This is a Lynch movie.
Poor people in the middle of nowhere don't have the best medical care.
No.
That could be it.
No.
Yeah.
They all got the pox.
Yeah.
I love the that main theme for when he's just basically just any moment that he's riding down the road. There was that same
Yes.
like I'm riding the lawnmower down the road theme.
Yeah.
I really loved that.
Me too. It's
It
a
was
great.
so awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's kind of epic.
we've got the soundtrack, but I haven't listened to it yet. I halfway expect it to be one song.
Yes.
Was that the last time that Badalamenti worked with Lynch in that movie?
I'm wondering. Yeah, it might be actually.
You're right about the ominous. The only thing that was ominous that stuck out to me was the beginning of the movie. We haven't met Alvin yet, and that music's there, and you see the lady tanning, and it just kind of starts going around the house to the window, and you hear some sort of, basically it's him falling.
Yeah.
But the music they were playing during that, I was like, oh, what's going on here? I know this is supposed to be like a nice story, but I'm a little
sure
tricked out what's going on right now.
Yeah, it did seem like someone had died.
Yeah, I assumed it was going to be Harry Dean Stanton having a stroke.
Yeah.
Yeah, it reminded me of the opening of Blue Velvet.
Definitely.
It seems like people have a lot of strokes in David Lynch's movies.
Oh,
Even like the colors in the opening of this felt a lot like the opening of Blue Velvet.
yeah.
I really liked a lot of like the quirky characters in this movie. The scene where they go in and find him lying on the floor, and just the two different reactions of the man and the woman. She's like, "Oh, get up, old man," and the man's like, "Oh my gosh, call 911."
Yeah.
What's the number for 911?
I couldn't believe she actually said that. I'm like,
Oh.
no one. Oh, that's
No
the
one
worst.
really says that.
Yeah. I'll read some trivia, I guess. Let's see. Here's some trivia for. Well, maybe I should read that one last because it's depressing.
I have a note here. That
Okay, go
I wanna
ahead.
Mention. The scene where he like the truck drives by him and he loses his hat.
Mm-hmm.
It reminds me a lot of Buster Keaton for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know. It's just in the. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the Railrodder, but it's like basically Buster Keaton traveling across Canada on like a little cart, like a little like
Hand crank cart.
yeah, like for like on railroads or
Yeah.
whatever. Anyways, there's like a lot of scenes like that, and he's got like a little box in the back where like he has all his supplies.
Raw hot
And
dogs?
yeah, raw hot dogs. So when he reached in the back and grabbed, I don't know what it was.
It was a raw hot dog.
Was it a-
Yes.
I thought maybe it was like a parsnip or something.
No.
A raw parsnip. Anyways, that just reminded me of Buster Keaton there.
Mm.
Yeah.
Was that?
Yeah, if he started like going after his hat and then kicking it with his foot and it gets further away, that would probably be more
Back
Buster Keaton to me.
back flipping off of his mower.
That would have been awesome.
Let's see. The Straight story was independently shot along the actual route taken by Alvin Straight, and all scenes were shot in chronological order. Lynch would later call the film my most experimental movie.
No, but I think he calls it every one of his movies his most experimental movie. It's like a teacher saying, "This is my best class yet."
Yeah.
Best class.
Unlike his prior films, or any that would follow, The Straight Story was distributed by Walt Disney Pictures. After a successful debut at Cannes, was given a G.
Want me to say that?
Go ahead. After
Cans.
Cans. Given a G rating, only Lynch film to receive such a rating. It is the only Lynch film for which Lynch himself did not have a hand in the screenplay. As with many of Lynch's films, there are no chapter markers on the original North American DVD release because Lynch wants the film to be watched as a whole. That's annoying. Okay, here's the
I think the co-writer was his wife at the time, I think.
Mary Sweeney.
Mary Sweeney, yeah.
Here's the sad part. Richard Farnsworth was terminally ill with bone cancer during the shooting of the film, which had caused the paralysis of his legs, as shown in the film. He actually took the role out of admiration for Alvin Straight and astonished his co-workers with his tenacity during production. Because of the pain of his disease, Farnsworth committed suicide the year following at the age of 80. Yeah, he shot himself the next year.
Jeez.
Yeah. That sucks.
Yeah. He's so good in this, though. He is fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's really where David Lynch comes in, is like, he knows how to direct to get really good performances from actors.
Mm-hmm.
Like, every little bit in this, everyone, they really get a chance to act. And I think that's why David Lynch is best when he has a solid script.
Yes.
Because there's only so much performance you can get without a solid script.
Mm-hmm. Here's one more thing. In 1999, Richard Farnsworth was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Actor for this. When David Lynch asked to see if he wanted to be in the simple but emotional movie The Straight Story, Farnsworth had no idea who he was. Farnsworth did not like violence or swearing, and so his agent very carefully told him that Lynch was the director who had made Elephant Man. Fortunately, he liked this movie. When Farnsworth and Lynch met, he reiterated his dislikes, Lynch reassured him that there would be none of that in this movie. The role, a rarity for a man his age, showed Hollywood that there's lots of talent out there. Yeah, so I guess if there was any swearing or such, then Richard Farnsworth would
apparently
have taken
it's even on his IMDb page that he wouldn't be in a movie if there was swearing in it. And apparently he was in one movie that there was swearing in it, and he said he was really embarrassed by it.
Really?
Yeah.
Ugh.
They're just words.
I got no use for arbitrary language censorship. None. Can we just talk a second about when the lawnmower is rolling out of control down that hill?
Could you identify with that, Brad?
I did think about riding down the street 30 miles an hour on a lawnmower. But, like, also the fact I was like, oh gosh, he's gonna crash into that burning building.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Yeah.
Boy,
that would have been horrible.
Yeah.
I know.
Like John goes right through the building, like and comes out the other side.
And then his mustache is singed.
Yeah. No, that's where the Transformers explosion could have come from.
Oh, see, that's what this needed.
Another freaking weird Lynchian kind of character was the guy in the Ace Hardware.
Oh, I love that guy.
So good.
He's all upset about his grabber.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Didn't he say he had two, but yet
I don't
he
know.
did not want him
But
to
that's
take...
the good one.
That's my good grabber.
This movie is such a good, genuine depiction of old people.
Oh, it's great.
And I love that busybody guy that's like always kind of hanging around and watching out the window. It's like, what's he up to this time?
At the end, when the big tractor came, I really so wanted him to like hook up the smaller tractor and haul him the rest of the way.
Hook up the small tractor to the big tractor.
Yeah, I was really disappointed when that didn't happen. I was like, damn it. All these awesome things with tractors. That's seriously, when we recorded the feedback for Intro to X today, all I wanted to talk about was tractors. And I was like, this is not appropriate, but I really want to talk about tractors.
Why is there no tractors in this X-Files episode?
Next week, Ghost in the Tractor.
Alright, do you guys want to get to some feedback?
Okay.
Alright, here's one from Bin. Oh my god, why can't I speak?
You're drunk.
Yeah. Ben Vidimek.
Okay. Hi guys, I've been looking forward to all your reactions on this one, as it is quite different than most of Lynch's other work. I may be way off the mark here, but I'm kind of expecting Brad to love it. Anyway, here are my thoughts. Well, that's pretty out there. Okay. First of all, this movie has a target audience of no one. Disney fans hardly seem prepared for anything Lynchian, and Lynch fans most likely were mortified when they heard he was working with Disney. When all was said and done, though, I can't imagine any partnership telling this story better. In my opinion, this movie is beautiful. It's no surprise that Lynch finds a way to showcase the beauty of rural America like no one else could. His use of color alone makes this movie come alive. The green and yellow mower against the true blue sky is a shot in a way I don't think any other modern filmmaker could manage. Slow camera movement and long shots help drive home the pace of the journey and are unmistakably Lynch. There is a real feeling of authenticity to every shot in this movie. That feeling carries over to the performances as well. Everyone in this movie feels so genuine to me. No performance feels the least bit forced. The people that populate this movie are instantly familiar to anyone who has spent any time in rural America. There's a subtlety to every performance that truly helps sell the film. It's a subtlety that is also in the storytelling and character development. Other directors may have played up the mental handicap affecting Straight's daughter, or dramatized the danger of passing vehicles more. This film seemed to present them plainly and honestly in a way that lends a true weight to these things. The reveal of the children being taken away from his daughter was heartbreaking to me, yet its delivery was quite quiet, with no grand score or overly dramatic read. The same is true of the final meeting between the Straight brothers. It's quiet and beautiful. Oh my gosh.
He keeps meaning to say quiet, but he spells it quite.
Maybe it was auto-corrected.
Yeah. It's quiet and subtle and beautiful. I do really believe this is a wonderful movie, and may very well be Lynch's biggest achievement. Every performance is spot on, the film is an amazingly cohesive experience, and it is gorgeous in a way few movies are. I give it 10 out of 10 little problems. Oh, and here's my quote. And I love deer! Thanks again for such a great podcast.
Yeah, that little problems line totally called back to Dick Tremaine.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Some money for our little problem. But yeah, that's true, the passing vehicles. That's one thing that I I was like, oh, SOD, because I couldn't believe that nobody got pissed off with how slow he was going on the road.
Yeah, I was waiting for at least one scene of like a horn blowing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but most of the time he was like on rural roads.
Yeah.
And they're used to that crap.
Yeah.
He was holding up that bridge that one time, though. Over the
Yeah, that was terrifying.
Here's one from Harold Wallen. Even though this film has a straightforward narrative and lacks the usual Lynch weirdness, it still struck me that it fits naturally with the rest of his work. I felt this most in the recurring shots of the sky, the blue heavens and the celestial night that both reflect the themes of time running out and add a spiritual flavor to the film. And of course, by now we are all familiar with Lynch's predilections for small towns, old men, and Harry Dean Stanton. Richard Farnsworth was terrific in this film. I feel that I have to mention, if only to get a reaction from Brad, that I first learned about Farnsworth when Siskel and Ebert raved about his starring role in The Grey Fox back in 1982.
Ebert can't be wrong all of the time.
Somebody should look up Ebert's review of this film. In any event, the straight story is just more evidence that Lynch is a truly gifted filmmaker, not just a niche artist. He has an ability to elevate material into something much more interesting and memorable than it ought to be. Hopefully he will find a new project to spark his interest soon. Cheers, Harold Wallen. Thanks, Harold. Yeah, does somebody want to get up on that review? What did I just say? Ebert?
I got it.
Did you like it?
It looks like it. Let me just read the first paragraph. It says, the first time I saw the straight story, I focused on the foreground and liked it. Second time, I focused on the background too and loved it. The movie isn't just about the old Alvin Straight's odyssey through the sleepy towns and rural districts of Midwest, but it's about the people he finds to and listen and care for him. You'd think it was a fantasy, this kindness to strangers, if the movie wasn't based on a true story.
Hey, Roger Ebert, how about you look at the foreground and the background every time you watch a movie?
I was going to say, how can you watch a movie and just look at the background and then just look at the foreground? That's kind of a weird way to watch a movie.
Ebert plays by his own rules.
He sure does.
Gives it 4 stars.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Good job, Ebert. All right. This is from Ryan Caldwell.
Hey, y'all. Long-time listener, first-time feedbacker. I've heard a lot of people do not really consider this a David Lynch film. I don't understand.
Fuck those people.
I don't understand their sentiment. It's about an old man riding a lawnmower. That's weird. It is weird. I find the landscape and characters reminiscent of Twin Peaks. I can imagine Alvin in Twin Peaks as the male version of the log lady. Rose seems like a more tragic version of Lucy or Nadine. It's true. I don't know. Nadine was pretty tragic. While the environment is clearly Midwest, something about the small town atmosphere likens it to Twin Peaks. I could have done without the many cutscenes of harvesting and would have loved to see more of Harry Dean Stanton as Lyle, but I can't complain too much. Richard Farnsworth was perfect for this role. I could never tell if Farnsworth was lucky to break into acting later in his career, or if he was simply lucky to be involved in films from the very beginning. I would have loved to see what he could have done as an actor in his younger days. Did we mention he was a stuntman in his younger days? Yeah. He started out as a stuntman.
You in Spartacus?
Yeah. I think so, yeah.
Yeah, he's been around.
Yeah.
Working.
Yeah. My favorite scene, besides the ending, is when Alvin speaks to the young pregnant girl after the gas station. In some ways, it feels like Alvin becomes Farnsworth because I truly got the sense that Farnsworth was speaking to that girl as himself instead of a character. It was an amazing scene. I enjoy listening to the podcast. On occasion, I would do random internet searches for Twin Peaks just to keep up with any potential theories or news. I had just gotten done watching the fan edit Northwest Passage when I found episode 1 of the podcast. I think the White Lodge had something to do with me finding the podcast from the beginning. Couldn't wait for each new installment. Can't wait to hear what's next.
Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah, thanks.
Just so you know, Ebert gave Home Alone 2.5 stars and Skyfall 4.
Oh, man.
Ebert! What did you give Casino Royale? Because I saw that one.
Oh.
What?
I looked up the wrong Casino Royale.
Oh.
Peter Sellers' version, he gave 2 stars. The new version, he gave 4.
Backwards.
Where does this email start? Okay, there it is.
It's from Justin Smith.
Hello, Twin Peaks podcast. When hearing on the Mulholland Drive episode that you were considering skipping The Straight Story, it really makes me glad to see that you're now doing the episode. The Straight Story holds a special place for me as it was the first David Lynch film I saw. The Disney brand was what drew me more than anything else. Previous to seeing this, all I really knew of Lynch was that he made movies that moviegoers were divided by.
That's true.
Upon seeing The Straight Story, I was instantly drawn by it. It's a film that's 112 minutes long. It feels a lot longer due to the long length of shots and the lack of fast-paced editing. Basically, the exact opposite of a Michael Bay movie.
Bam!
While I can understand a lot of people being turned off by that, I love when a movie slows down its story and takes its time. It really gives you a chance to absorb the atmosphere. In this case, contains some beautiful Midwestern cinematography as well as some of Angela Badalamenti's best musical work, and to catch the subtleties in the story you might easily miss in a faster-paced film. It reminds me a lot of one of my other favorite films, Paris, Texas, which stars Harry Dean Stanton. Richard Farnsworth is terrific in the leading role of Alvin Strait, completely convincing as this old man who will stop at nothing to accomplish his goal. No wonder he was nominated for an Oscar. The rest of the cast is very good too, which includes some familiar faces from Twin Peaks.
Did you say Twin Peaks?
Twin Peaks.
Twin Peaks.
This is the Twin Peaks podcast, right? You guys are about birds.
Is Robin dead?
Oh no. Robin, don't die before you see your brother.
Sorry.
He just had a little stroke.
Okay.
Just a little one.
Sorry about that. Firing up the tractor again. Here we go. Having seen Lynch's other movies since then, what I really appreciate about The Straight Story is how much versatility David Lynch shows he's capable of. Versatility is not a word many people associate with Lynch, as there is this perceived perception by many that Lynch is nothing but a crazy wild man obsessed with nonlinear storytelling. But with this film and The Elephant Man, Lynch shows just how emotional and touching of a director he's capable of being, such as with the scenes of The Runaway Girl or The Priest. I wish Lynch would go further with this approach and storytelling with other films. In one way, though, it's not hard to believe David Lynch made this, and it shares a lot in common with both Blue Velvet and Twin Peaks. Just kidding. Twin Peaks, in that celebrates small towns, friendly people with their odd quirks, as well as that can-do American spirit that we'd all like to believe is true. Can't wait to hear you guys' thoughts, and keep up the good work with the shows.
Awesome.
Thanks, Justin. Oh, I thought I had something for Brad to read, but it's
audio feedback.
It's an audio feedback from Claire.
Oh, snap!
Well, if he can listen to it and relay it to us.
Yeah. Secretly listen to it.
Yeah.
All right, this is what Claire's talking about. Some crazy bullshit. I don't even know. So she's just jabbering on.
Blah, blah, blah. More about herself.
You know what? Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry.
Let's just not play it.
Yeah. All right, so this is from Claire Laffar, entitled "Feedback for Straight Story." Bam.
Whoa.
Okay.
Hello, Twin Peaks podcast. It's been a long time. I've missed you. Where have you been? So I know today you're discussing The Straight Story, and I wanted to send you some feedback. I have actually watched this one. I know, shocker. I actually watched it the other day randomly on YouTube. It's kind of one of those movies that after you've seen it, I find that I can't sort of say what happened in it very much. Like, I remember there's particular bits, but so much of it has this like dreamy quality to it. Not so much as how David Lynch's other films often have, but it's so quiet and calm. And I actually said to Brad, don't watch this film when you're feeling sleepy, because it will kind of make you fall asleep. And it's not because it's a bad movie or anything, but it's just really soothing. I really enjoy this movie though, and it's so different to a lot of the other films you will see of his, like Lost Highway and Mulholland Drive, Inland Empire, thank God. So some things I liked about the film. It still blows my mind that David Lynch did a film with Disney. It's just two things that I never thought I would see go together. I love Richard Farnsworth, that's his name, isn't it? In the lead. I think he's amazing in this film. His performance is so understated. I think he was Oscar nominated for this. I can't remember who won that year though, but hopefully you guys know. But I also love him in Misery. He's my favourite part of the film Misery, and he just has a very small role in that. But he's just so good at playing this kind of very calm, quiet character where there's a lot of stuff going on below the surface. And he's got those amazing bright blue eyes as well. It's also surprised me that this is the first time that Sissy Spacek has been in a David Lynch film, because she's married to Jack Fisk, and him and David Lynch have worked together for years and years and years. So I always thought it was kind of weird that she never turned up in a David Lynch film before this. I thought she was really good in this as well. I really felt for her character. Apparently, people have said who met the real Rose Straight that she played it almost exactly how she is in real life, like with the manner of speaking and everything. What else? Oh, Big Ed Hurley appears. Yay! So good to see him. Missed him. I can't remember what else happened. Oh, there's the scene at the end where he's talking to the guy in the bar about being in the war. That just breaks my heart. It's really sad. Yeah, just lots of little quiet moments in it, and you see what I mean? I just can't remember what happened in it, but I love it. The score is amazing. I really like, there's one theme which I think is just called Laurens, and it's beautiful. I have it and on my iPod. Beautiful piece of music. What else? Oh, I thought it was weird casting with Harry Dean Stanton as the brother at the end, because they really don't look anything alike, and he looks a lot younger than Alvin. So I always thought that was slightly weird casting. Not that Harry Dean Stanton does a bad job, because obviously he's awesome in everything. What else? Oh, and I just have to say, at the Double R Club a year or so ago, which is the David Lynch inspired cabaret in London, there was a costume contest, and one guy actually dressed as Alvin, and he built a little lawnmower, and he had little fake legs poking over the top, and he looked amazing.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's a random fact for you. So anyway, what will I give this? I do really enjoy this film, and every time I watch it I kind of remember how much I enjoy it. It's not up there with my top Lynch films, but I would give it a solid 8 weird chin plasters out of 10, because I think that was a chin plaster on that twin, wasn't it? I don't know, that's what it looked like.
What's that?
Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoy the film, and I will speak to you soon for whatever film you're doing next. Bye.
Thanks, Claire.
Yeah, thanks.
What was that? That was on.
It looked like Band-Aids to me.
Yeah.
You know when Claire said, don't watch this movie because it would, it's kind of a soothing movie, might make you fall asleep.
Mm-hmm.
I think I feel the same way about Claire's feedback. It's like
burn!
it's fine. It's like super feedback. It's nice.
When she mentioned him, okay, sorry.
What?
Oh no, I'm sorry. I must have fallen asleep while you're talking. So.
Shit's gonna be real.
Yeah.
What? Okay, what Claire said reminded me of something that I thought when I was watching the movie. When he went to the bar, like before he went to his brother, why did he stop and have a drink? Like, he clearly had so many problems with alcohol in his life before, and it was one of the major issues when he had his big falling out with his brother. Why did he go have a drink right before he went to see his brother?
Maybe he had to calm his
courage.
nerves. Yeah, liquid courage, exactly.
But he hadn't had it for years and years.
I don't know. Yeah, he was about to do something momentous.
Or he just reached a point in his life where he just finally I can handle it now.
Yeah, I guess.
I did actually fall asleep during the movie, though.
Actually?
Yes. Again,
When?
It was the wine.
We had to finish the second half of the movie in the morning. She fell asleep.
Oh.
She does that a lot. That doesn't mean she doesn't like
something. It makes me
something.
sound like a drunk.
Well, yeah, you gotta
Well, it's not the truth.
Yeah.
Hey, you're the one that was like, hey, let's drink some mulled wine. Okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I can handle it.
Yeah, I can.
2 things. First, Farnsworth lost to Kevin Spacey for American Beauty. So Alan Ball wins again. And
Fuck you, Alan Ball.
And what is the next film you're doing?
Oh, we're doing...
Dune, is it?
I think it's Dune. I just want to...
Oh, yes.
I will double check.
Oh, damn, because I was hoping it was Lost Highway because I have Ebert's review for that in front of me, and it's freaking hilarious.
Oh, is it?
We'll say.
Let me just read this sentence, and then you can go into the movie with this in your mind.
Actually, Actually, it is Lost Highway we're doing next.
Is it?
Okay.
Yeah.
It says Lost Highway is like kissing a mirror. You like what you see, but it's not much fun, and it's kind of cold.
Wow.
What?
Ebert's had a lot of experience kissing mirrors.
Wow.
I
relate so well.
I like Lost Highway.
do too.
Can we talk about Best Picture this year? When
This year?
No, not this year. When Straight Story.
Oh, okay.
It was not included in Best Picture.
Oh.
But the nominees that year were American Beauty, Cider House Rules, The Green Mile. Okay. The Insider. I don't know The Insider. And The Sixth Sense. The Sixth Sense was nominated for Best Picture of the Year.
Questionable.
Also, M. Night Shyamalan was nominated for Best Director that year.
It's a sin.
And Lynch didn't get a nomination?
And Being John Malkovich wasn't nominated for Best Picture that year?
What?
What's happening?
Oh, you haven't seen Being John Malkovich?
No,
Mel?
but I want to see it.
It's really good.
Is it?
It's great.
Yeah.
We should review it next week.
Yeah, let's do
Let's
that.
do that. I'm up for watching that.
Yeah.
After that, we switched to all Charlie Kaufman movies.
So Ghosty, the other co-host who's going to be on with this, sent in a voicemail. I have not heard it yet. Let's see what he has to say.
It's just music. Don't panic.
Well, hello there, Twin Peaks podcast people. This is Ghosty. Sorry, I could not be with you today because I'm too dumb to figure out Skype. You kids with your cassettes and your microwaves and yo-yos. Well, anyway, the topic is The Straight Story. I'm sure. Actually, I can't say I'm sure. I have no idea what you guys think of this movie. There's no way I could possibly figure out. I have a feeling Caitlin liked it. That would be my guess. And I don't. That's not a mean thing to say. I just think so. I think she's a little more sensitive than the rest of the crew.
Hey,
if you must know.
Fuck you.
I remember when Out Straight made this journey, the lawnmower. It was all over the news. I first heard it on a radio broadcast. Listening to the top of the hour news somewhere on AM radio, and I thought, what a weird thing someone would do. And then it was all over television. It was a big news story when it happened. And when it was announced that David Lynch was going to make a film of this journey, my friends and I who were into David Lynch, we all said, well, naturally. It's such a quirky, weird little story. Of course, David Lynch would be the guy to bring it to the screen. And it's funny because I think in the ensuing years, this reaction has changed. It's sort of become, oh, this is David Lynch's sellout movie, or this is not up to par with his other films, which is ridiculous. This is a wonderful film. First of all, I think of any Lynch film, this has the best cinematography of any, and that includes Elephant Man. And in fact, it's also his most accessible movie, along with Elephant Man, probably tied for that, maybe a little more accessible than Elephant Man. And I think it's a wonderful film filled with tremendous performances. Of course, Richard Farnsworth being the focal point of the entire movie, and of course he's a veteran character actor who passed away. Well, he killed himself, actually, shortly after this movie. He was suffering from cancer while filming it, and he just breaks your heart. I mean, his performance is just, it's natural, it's low-key, it just comes across as sincere. It comes across like he's not acting at all, and that's the definition of a great actor, really. And Sissy Spacek, of course, in kind of a small role, but the minute I saw her on screen, I thought to myself, well, somebody's shooting for an Oscar here, because whenever you have Sissy Spacek in a movie, that's generally how it goes. After the movie was released, it was a big hit, this film. It did really, really well, but as I said, as the years went by, the reputation among Lynch fans started to dip. It started to become tarnished. The idea that the movie was heartwarming and accessible. It was a sentimental movie. I mean, these words, sentimental, accessible, and heartwarming, aren't bad words. We're sort of convinced that this, everything has to be edgy and everything has to be dark And somehow that's deeper than something that's accessible and heartwarming and sentimental, and that's juvenile nonsense made up by people who are nothing but human garbage. I kid, but that's
agreed.
That's the sort of attitude I might have had when I was much younger. But as you get older, you realize that there's great value in things that are sentimental, accessible, and heartwarming. This movie is right up there. I think it's in the top 5. And we're not talking about a lot of movies here. Lynch hasn't directed a lot, but I think it's in the top 5 of Lynch movies. A big recommend. 2 thumbs up, way into space for The Straight Story. And might I add that, Brad, it's all about the Powells, not the Pembroke. I don't know where you got that crazy idea from. I mean,
You're wrong! Fuck you! I will destroy you! Pembroke's forever! There are no Powells!
In joke for listeners of the Ramjack podcast.
And all fans of the true Charles in Charge season.
That was great, Ghosty, thanks.
Yes.
Such a great radio voice.
That radio voice just kills me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. For a second, I thought I was listening to a podcast.
Yeah, an actual podcast.
Like an NPR podcast.
Yeah. Alright, so that's all of our feedback. Most of those just came like yesterday.
Who's Oliver Feedback?
Oh, he's this guy. I hate him.
Okay.
Hello, it's me, Oliver Feedback.
Oh, Oliver!
I go around spreading my opinions to podcasts.
Wow. Why was so long-winded, Oliver?
This movie was crap. Who cares about old people and lawnmowers? Sounds like a bore to me.
Oliver, you are the bane of my existence.
Oh, really? Well, your podcast is the bane of my existence. I'm leaving your Facebook group. Here's my formal decree.
Oh.
Why does he sound like he was born in the 1700s?
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just a regular gadabout, I am.
Oliver Feedback must become a character from now on. Okay. So, do we want to rate it? Rate this movie? I like this movie a lot. It was really good. Not like amazing or anything, but I mean, it was fine. So, I think it warrants an 8 out of 10, at least. 8 out of 10 overpriced tractor parts. It was a touching, heartwarming story, and sometimes you need that.
I'd like to give it 9.5 out of 10 Suicide Deer. I really, really enjoyed it. Like, this is the type of movie I like. I like a movie where it has something that, I don't know, you can learn from it a little bit. Like, not necessarily learn, but just happy stuff. I like movies about, like, values, and it's, yeah. This has definitely a lot more of it. Other movies, like, that we've been watching, they're very interesting, but they're not really movies I connect with, because I just can't. But...
Because you're not a horrible person. Like me.
Exactly, you're not sensitive. I was almost going to give it 10 out of 10. I enjoyed it that much.
Why did
he really reminded me of my own grandpa. Alvin was just so much like him.
Aw, that's nice.
Does he shoot tractors?
No, he doesn't. But sometimes, well, he's not so mobile anymore. He'd take a slingshot and, like, shoot at gophers in his yard.
Slingshot's the classic old man weapon.
Yeah.
And little kid.
Even when I would go over to his house to mow his lawn, he'd still, like, come out and make sure, it was still working and making sure I could get it started and everything.
Oh, I thought you were going to say he shot slingshot at you while you were mowing his lawn.
Get off my yard!
Who are you anyways?
We haven't reached that point yet.
I really liked it too. I think I would give it an 8.5 darn good grabbers.
Yeah.
I want a grabber now.
Yeah.
They're really fun to use.
Yeah, they look amazing.
It's like having a robot hand.
It's true! Like an extension robot arm.
Yeah.
And he just must have had a really good one, because it's hard to pick up heavy things with those. He picked up logs.
Well, it was a darn good grabber.
Yeah.
Grabber he had.
Paid $10 for that grabber. You got one, Brad?
Yeah, this movie, like, yes, it may be simple, it's not striving for anything huge or overly metaphorical, but it's made exactly to what it is. It's it's executing what it's trying to perfectly. I have no complaints with that. It's great. It looks good. I enjoyed it thoroughly. He dresses exactly like my grandfather did.
That's awesome.
Except my grandfather never wore a cowboy hat. He just wore like baseball caps from companies that people gave him. Which was always strange.
You sure you and Caitlin don't have the same grandfather?
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, siblings.
Caitlin is mortified.
And my grandfather also always had lawnmowers, like in his shed. He always had like 8 lawnmowers at a time working on them. I don't know if he ever fixed any of them. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I'll say 9 out of 10 flyaway cowboy hats.
All right. Well, this is just kind of like an average movie. It wasn't a lot really that made me ecstatic. There was a couple of like emotional moments that worked well for me, and the cinematography is good all around. And I thought, the old people acted old really well. But I don't know if it's rewatchable. So that kind of and I wasn't really impressed with the climax of the movie. So I guess I'm just gonna give it like a 7 out of 10. Wildlife giving guilty looks while you eat wildlife.
Well,
that was a good scene.
Yeah. Well,
Robin's cold and dead inside.
Yeah. Who's up for storming out of this Skype call?
I am.
Fuck you, Robin.
And I just left your Facebook group.
Oh.
Sorry, you're not going to get my comments anymore.
We're pulling a Charlton Heston in that Michael Moore documentary when he storms out of his own house.
Yeah. Let's storm into a different part of my own house.
Yeah, we're storming.
You stay here.
We're storming out of our own podcast.
We got quotes, anyone?
Yes. And they're all grabber related.
I know it.
We can all share them if that's your guys' quotes too.
Well, you wrote multiple ones down. Let's let Brad go first in case he only has one.
Oh, you go ahead, Brad.
That's my grabber. That's a darn good grabber, Alvin. I'm not even reading them right. And what do you need that grabber for, Alvin? Grabbing.
That's good.
I think you just took them all.
I know. You guys can read them again because I did a horrible job reading them.
Nope, it's too late.
I screwed it up.
Brad, you got one?
I haven't had a drink in a lot of years, but now I'm gonna go have me a cold beer.
You got one, Caitlin?
What a hunk of junk. Eat your dinner, Missy.
Yeah, that was pretty rude of that lady. that hitchhiker. Robin?
Well, the worst part of being old is remembering when you was young.
Way to harshen my mellow, Gramps.
Oh, so good.
Here's mine. Well, ma'am, I fought in the trenches of World War II. Why would I be afraid of an Iowa cornfield? I don't know, ever seen Jeepers Creepers?
You guys should do that next week.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we should. Hey, what did Roger Ebert give that one?
Home Alone, then Jeepers Creepers.
So, I was wondering, because I know nothing about this, is Wisconsin a real party state?
I don't know either.
Forgot about that. No, never. Is it?
Maybe that was an inside joke. Yeah, it's not really.
I think it's the middle of nowhere.
I've never been.
Crap.
What?
He didn't rate Jeepers Creepers.
What? How could you?
Jeepers Creepers 2, which had Ray Wise in it, related. 1 star.
Aww. What the hell?
It could be a great movie then.
It automatically becomes a great movie once Ray Wise steps in.
Mm-hmm. And once Roger Ebert hates it.
Yeah.
Alright, so yeah, like we said, next time we're doing Lost Highway.
Where the highways go even faster than this one.
Yeah. There'll be a lot of shots of the highway. Yellow lines.
Before you start this podcast up next time.
What?
Make sure you kiss a mirror before...
We will. We'll bring a mirror to the party.
Everybody kiss it, then you'll know what it's like to watch this film. Alright, Robin, where can we find you on the internets?
Oh, you can find me on Redemption Cast. It's Redemption Cast, the Angel Introcast, as well as on Intro to X. where we talk about the X-Files and have lots of fun.
Mm-hmm. And Brad?
Well, you guys can find me on the Ramjack podcast talking about the Powells, the best family from Charles in Charge. Are now more, Saved by the Bell, the college years, and Mr. Belvedere. And getting angry at things a lot. Which is fun.
That's why we love you.
And also, you can find me on Intro to X, the X-Files intro podcast. Where I'll also be really angry about things.
What's a ghost?
What is a ghost? Anyone explain that shit to me? It's the 21st fucking century.
Alright, so Robin, thanks for coming on with us.
Yes, thank you.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah, and we'll see everyone next time. Later. Bye.
Au revoir.
Bye.
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 Thanks for listening. Check us out on twitter.com/TwinPeaksCast. Search for the Twin Peaks Podcast group on Facebook, and visit us on twinpeakspodcast.blogspot.com. Email your feedback to twinpeakspodcast@gmail.com.
Here's a tune for you guys. Okay. Don't do anything I wouldn't do.